And it's bronze for Canada at the 2024 U18 Women's Worlds.
Well, the Women's Under-18 World Championship wrapped up this week in Zug, Switzerland. So a perfect time to bring on Carissa Donkin, who is at Montreal's practice rink right now. So thanks for jumping on the phone and chatting with us. And we're going to start, obviously, with Team Canada. Not the result they wanted as they lose to Czechia in the semifinal. They end up with the bronze medal, but I'm going to ask you the same question we always ask when a women's Team Canada loses at an international tournament. Sure, it's bad for Canada, but is it good for women's hockey?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's a disappointing finish for a team that looked really dominant throughout this tournament and, looked like they were going to be in that gold medal game for sure. And maybe we're going to go down as one of the best U18 rosters we've ever seen to wear a Canadian sweater. But it is good for the game. I mean, it shows that other countries are catching up. I still think that, a lot of other countries don't quite have the depth that Canada and USA have, on the bottom of their lineup. I think we saw that in the gold medal game with Czechia and USA, but, absolutely it's good news. And we saw Sweden in the gold medal game last year, a bit of a surprise when they beat USA. And then, of course, Czechia this year. And just looking at Czechia's rise over the last few years, they qualified for the Olympics for the very first time in 2022. And then they won medals at the World Championships, back-to-back bronze medals. And now, of course, a silver medal at U18. So big things happening for that country.
Okay, so two players I have to ask you about because despite the loss, they certainly put a spotlight on themselves. Caitlin Kraemer goes out and breaks Marie-Philippe Poulin's points record. Anytime you do that, people are going to be talking about you. And Chloe Primerano, as a defender, leads the tournament in scoring. So, question number one, how quick is it before we see these two getting a call, maybe from the national team? I know they're young, but anytime you do that, that's what people are talking about.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They're both special players. We saw that during the tournament. And I think there's no doubt they're going to be on that senior national team at some point. So, yeah, I mean, the question is how soon? A couple things to consider with Team Canada right now. I mean, you have to factor in the PWHL effect. So I think there's going to be some players who are getting looks from Team Canada who maybe haven't been on that roster before because now they're shining on a different stage. So you're competing with them. One of the problems with that development pipeline is that there isn't a tournament in between the U18s and the senior national level. So there's no Women's World Juniors. There's a development team that plays a series against the USA every summer, but that's kind of it. So it's a bit of a hole. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the two of them, at least get an invitation to camp, get them in there. But, as for when we see them actually playing on the senior national team, I think it'll be a couple years.
You mentioned this. The PWHL obviously has changed the entire landscape of female hockey. And you got to wonder, there's no age limit or minimum age as far as the draft goes. Could we start seeing players like the two we just talked about have a huge under-18 tournament, suddenly decide, maybe I'm not going to go to college if they get an offer from a team and go straight to the PWHL?
I actually asked Gina Heffer with the PWHL that question this weekend. Do you intend to put a minimum age on that or, are you going to keep it open? And they don't plan on adding a minimum age in the near future, but she said they don't want people sort of circumventing that traditional path that they've taken. They see the value in going to college, both from the sense of getting an education because these women aren't making millions of dollars here, and also from a development perspective. I mean, we've seen how much physicality they're allowing in the PWHL. So that's quite a jump to go, to skip the college level. That can really, help them adjust to where they need to be in the PWHL. But, Gina did say in her answer, we do acknowledge that, that pathway may not be the perfect fit for every player. So for a really special player like Chloe Primerano, maybe, she goes to university, she tears it up. I wouldn't be surprised. And maybe she leaves a couple years early. Time will tell.
Time will tell. Thanks so much for doing this. Enjoy practice.
Thank you.